Hey, hey! Welcome to Sunny and Ratchet, your go-to spot for real talk and real laughs with your two favorite hosts who are spilling the tea, but not the wine.
Skies might be big, but the opinions are bigger. This is where you'll find your weekly dose of drama and magic, always served hot and slightly chaotic. I'm the one that likes to tell it like I see it.
And I'm the one who finds the silver lining, even if it's duct taped on.
We're just two women from the Midwest, one the ever optimist, and the other a realist, just trying to keep the train on the tracks.
So if you like gossip, world news, unsolicited advice, and good old-fashioned sarcasm, you're in the right spot.
Is this Sunny and Ratchet? Pull up a chair and let's get into it. Welcome back to Sunny and Ratchet, episode 3. This is where we're going to be interviewing Miss Sunny over here and getting to know her better. So,
Too high.
let's get into it.
Woo! Okay.
All right, how are you feeling today?
I am feeling okay, but I think my coffee has me a little intense.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Might get some rellas. Ooh. Okay. So here's some rapid fire. Coffee is.
I want to be a tea person, but I'm coffee. Coffee, baby.
Introvert or extrovert?
I am an introvert until you get me around the right people.
Have you seen?
Yeah. Yes. I've been told I'm an introverted extrovert, which
I like that. Yeah.
it does sound kind of accurate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had some of the best laughs with you.
That's crazy. I know.
Let's talk more.
Not that.
Actually, that's a perfect
Oh, shoot. Okay. Let's talk more relaxation, baby.
I'm like, I like the first answer better.
Oh.
When life gives you limits,
Make margaritas.
margarita.
Was rum, not tequila. I don't even know if that still makes it a margarita, but
That's so very good.
maybe that makes it a mojito. Yeah, when life gives you lemons, make
Mojitos?
yes, mojitos.
Okay. First corny joke that comes to mind.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
What do you call a cheap circumcision?
A ripoff.
It's horrible, right?
Okay. If you had a theme song, what would it be?
Okay, so here's honestly what comes to mind. And I've been asked this question before, and I don't necessarily know why, because it's not like my favorite song in the world.
Mhm.
But I feel like the chorus is my vibe. It's the Badass Woman by Megan Trainor.
I like Megan.
Yeah, I do. Well, I don't know. There's a lot about the song where I'm like, this isn't the song that makes me want to like kick down a fucking door. But I feel like, I'm a badass woman.
Every time I hear that song, it's me now.
Yes, you should. If you ever even hear it. I don't even know how I ended up hearing it, but I sang it. I was like, yes, that's me.
What is your astrological sign?
I am a Scorpio, baby. Although I think a Scorpio is supposed to be the ratchet one. Which I believe it can be. Well, okay, yeah.
I promised myself I'd never date a Scorpio, but yeah, I'm best friends.
I am not your typical Scorpio. The only trait I feel like I really identify with a Scorpio is that I'm deeply loyal.
You really are. Like, to a fault.
Yes.
I love that about you. 100%. I do.
Yeah, I know. This is where our philosophies
Diverge.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Tell me.
I'm gonna tell you something. So, Mr. Sunny, when we were dating, he really felt like astrology, like he was really into it. Like he was kind of putting some faith. Yes, I know.
Wow, I love this.
Yeah, I don't. And here's why.
Oh dear.
He did a match of our signs
What is he?
because he's an Aries.
Okay.
And he's like, oh my God, this is the worst compatibility score we've ever had. And I'm like, are you going to listen to a damn app? Yes. No.
Listen to an app.
No. We are the best compatibility
You two really are.
ever. You take that back.
Yes. You guys, watching you guys mature into your relationship and being there, you guys got married, that was so awesome because you guys are just a beautiful couple. Aww. So I'm glad I got to witness it.
You didn't just witness it, you married us.
Yeah.
So you're stuck with us.
Gladly. Okay, what would you spend $1 million on?
So I would definitely want to give back some of that if I won $1 million. I think probably the organization that's like at the forefront of my mind that I care about the most is the YWCA.
Mm-hmm.
They did a lot to get me through a very difficult time, and I guess I don't know if it's selfish or not, but I know that they do so much good that I would want to get back to that and all they did to help me kind of reset and start again.
And this is another reason why you were just one of my favorite people.
Then I have to do something for myself.
Did I answer that question about going to Scotland? And you're like, let me help everybody.
I buy a lake house. And I'd give back. I'd give back to the YWCA. Did you know when I was little, I used to try to enter. It was like the Kraft mac and cheese boxes. They had a contest where you could enter it to try to get like a toy box full of toys or something. And I would enter those contests because my mother, she does this thing, and I can't think of what it's called now, where you adopt a child overseas and money and all that. And I was like, I could send a toy box full of toys to, our kid, because we would write letters to the family.
That's so sweet. Your mama did good.
She did do good. She has a lot to do with why I am the way I am.
She was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is the weirdest job you've ever had?
I guess it's not really that weird, but I worked for the zoo at one point because I had a broken foot. I was working in the zoo offices, but I was like the radio controller, like the central, like the base, base. And so I had to learn things like different codes that would go over the radio if like an animal got loose. It was, yeah. So do you know what the most dangerous animal at the zoo is?
What?
Take again.
I'm going to say tiger.
You would think it'd be like a big cat, right?
Yeah.
It's the gorilla, the male gorilla.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. Which makes me think of that thing that's kind of going on right now, like a human army versus a gorilla army. You haven't seen that? It's like a simulation. Like it's something like 100,000 gorillas simulated against like 1 million men, and the gorillas would win.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, it's a Planet of the Apes prediction. I don't know. Anyways, gorillas are tough motherfuckers.
Yeah. Firstly, I didn't know you worked at a zoo. That's totally 100% badass.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know animals actually got out and had a gun for it.
It's usually the birds, which is like, I don't know. And there's a whole other, like, whole lot of radio chatter when that happened. That was just wild to me. But there was, so I was the only person because it was on Saturdays and Sundays that I did it. Like the central office, the old one, It'd be full of people during the week, but not on the weekends. And so they had this cage with these little itty bitty little golden monkeys.
Okay.
And they warned me, they were like, they sometimes get out. And I was like, it never happened. But I was like, shit. If I am in this office by myself on crutches, bum leg, and one of those little monkeys goes running across the floor, I'm gonna lose it. But also, when I worked at the zoo, um, I worked I worked in a few different areas, and I also worked as just kind of a stadium attendant when they still had dolphins,
Okay.
and when the last baby dolphin was born there. Yeah. Although I got called on jury duty for the one time in my life, so I was like waiting and waiting for that dolphin to be born after while I was on jury duty.
If that is not a reason to miss jury duty, I don't know what
I
is.
know, I should have like listened.
This dolphin I've been waiting for is about to be born.
Right.
Justice system is just gonna have to wait.
Exactly. My favorite dolphin there though was the teenage boy dolphin. His name was Harley. I'd be like cleaning the stadium, and he'd like, if there's a ball or something, he'd start like throwing it at me. Wait for me to throw it back. It's so cute. So cute. I loved that dolphin.
All right, Miss Sunny, one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is the scariest movie for you?
I think you know. I think it's the fourth kind.
Do you really?
I know. Who turns owls into aliens? That's just wrong. And they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And oh my god, I love messing with you.
She does. She does.
I love that movie. That was the first movie in a very long time. And I know it's old now, but it actually scared me.
Mm-hmm.
And I still love it. But watching it with you was a whole another level of entertainment.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I didn't have to watch, like, I was like, we need to watch a Disney movie now. So I could come off of that.
And then she was like talking about owl images all the time. So I started getting owls for like the Halloween decorations and stuff.
You know, when I went to Mr. Sonny's house at the time, when he was boyfriend Sonny, and the first thing I noticed is they has this damn owl on his porch. Yes. And I was like, why do you have an owl there? He's like, to scare the birds. I was like, what birds? It's just your front lawn. Why?
So yeah, I love it. Okay,
Owls are creepy.
is it only because of the fourth kind?
Yes. Specifically because of the fourth kind.
I love the fact that I've deterred owls from you for the rest of your life.
You think it's funny that you traumatized me?
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
If you could live in any era,
Any era,
what would it be?
you know, I honestly think I would just live right now. Because, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Like you talked about, like going back to Scotland and being a princess.
I did.
You know, I mean, that does sound good because, you know, like peasants, it was hard.
It was hard.
It was a hard life.
No, it's not. I don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I can't, like there are some times that I think of where there's some nostalgia to it. Like the 50s, like really the stylistic, you know, cars and how, like all that, that's really cool. But there was shit going down that like I would not be okay with, you know? Like segregation, racism. No, thank you. You know, I've been
in a second class citizen.
yeah, all of that. I would not be sitting at home in a dress and heels cooking. Gross.
We're still interviewing you, but I have to get this out there.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know those women, those housewives that everybody was like, they did it all. They kept the house clean, they took care of their kids, they had dinner ready at home. They were on fucking drugs.
Because you have to be.
They were on coke. That's how we got shit done.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not saying everybody, I don't even know if it's true. It's just a TikTok I saw.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just throwing that out there. But it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, like, I think it's true. Like, we can't be all of it. And people that did do it, had to cope somehow, whether it was drugs or just severe depression.
Or all of the above.
All of the above, yeah. Because, I mean, honestly, if they were taking something, it's probably because they didn't have good old antidepressants to treat what was hurting them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's bit me on a tangent. We're gonna move on.
Okay, no tangent.
Okay, so we're gonna go in depth now.
Mm-hmm.
What's an insult that you received that you're proud of?
So my dad, when I was a kid, he gave me a book called Uppity Women of Ancient Times. Oh, my mom and my sister, they call me the captain. I'm the mouthy one in my family. I don't really think necessarily that my dad was trying to insult me, but some people kind of thought I was kind of uppity. Like when I was younger, I actually refused to learn how to cook because I was told that was something a woman needed to do to get a husband. And yes, I know. So like, I love this. I've really grown into a different person, but I definitely, especially when I was younger, like you pushed, it was pushed right back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe quietly, maybe behind your back, like, okay, you know, but still, yeah, I mean, I actually enjoy cooking now, but it's because I do it for me, not because I was trying to land a man.
Mm.
The insult of saying that you're not being like a woman should be, thank you. I don't want to be whatever your ideals of a woman are. I just fucking want to be me.
I love it. I love it. I love that a lot. What's ideas or beliefs that have changed over time for you?
Well, I have had a lot of different, like, I think, versions of myself, which I do think is normal. I think people need to accept that about themselves more. But, when I was younger, one of the things is I was raised atheist or agnostic. I became Christian in high school despite my upbringing, which my parents were open-minded people, so that was fine, you know. And I joined, when I very first became Christian, I joined a Baptist church. But as I really, I guess, did things like read the Bible and explored what it meant to be a Christian, I really kind of landed more Methodist, the whole open hearts, open arms, open doors, you know. They let women, be in leadership, be pastors. Some Methodist church or churches are more welcoming than others to the LGBTQ community, to Buddhists, that kind of thing. And, I guess I'm really open-minded in that way. Like, it was really hard for me, and something that led me to kind of switch to being a Methodist was, so like my parents, they are really moral people.
They really are.
They are. Like, morality is very important, and they are good people. But, I was raised this idea of you wouldn't steal from somebody because it's wrong to treat another person that way. It's about being good to your fellow man, being good to humankind, rather than if you do this, God will smite you, which seemed to be a big, like, misconception, I feel like, when I was younger, and when I was kind of entering that church world and dealing with people that were raised in church. I don't know, it's just,
The misconception about people who are atheists or
yeah,
agnostic.
not how like we were somehow in some like devil den when we got home, worshiping Satan. No,
We're just genuinely good people. For the classic. There's no punishment or reward. It's just we're good.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's just like we're a very science-minded family, you know. I think that's one of the reasons that I'm so like drawn to facts and data and that kind of thing. And that's how I grew up thinking about things analytically, and it definitely wasn't a think this or do this because I said so kind of upbringing. And I feel like I'm still like that. It's just that I have come to a place where I do feel though like my spirituality, although it's Christian centered, I would say yes. I am a Christian, but I'm very open minded.
Can attest.
Yeah.
Did it ever give you? Because I think my spirituality was starting to move along when you and I first met. So I think when we first met and we became friends, I mean, we were both, I guess, quote unquote, Christians. But I know you're open, I know this, but were you ever, that's the right word I'm looking for, put off or anything about knowing somebody who was Christian who went more spiritual?
No. Yeah, no judgment here. I have members of my family who are Jewish. I have members of my family who are atheists, who are agnostic. And I would actually say members of my family that are actually Christian are in the minority in my family, And also, one thing that was really just the most magical thing that I wish everybody could do. When I was 18, I got the chance to take a trip to Turkey. On this trip, there was me, and I was a Christian. And there's my sister, the atheist, and then my cousin, who's Jewish, and our tour guide, who is a Muslim. And we got to visit all kinds of places. The trip had been planned by my aunt and uncle who were Jewish. And so there were a lot of religious sites that we went to and visited. And we got to have the best kinds of conversations about how it was significant to each of us in a different way according to our religion or spirituality.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Except for my sister who was just young and pissed off. Now she's just older and pissed off.
That is awesome.
Yeah. No, it was really, really great. And that was the one time in my life that I've been in, I guess, a place that had a culture that wasn't, largely Christian, like Christianity wasn't the majority. I've also been to Europe too, where Catholicism is the majority and Protestantism is the minority. And I just think that a lot of people could really maybe just use that experience, maybe see, because I think a lot of times the things we fight against are the things that we don't know, and they scare us because we have our own ideas in our head rather than actually knowing what does that actually look like.
I feel like there should be a standing ovation right now from that statement.
You just make me feel so good. Thank you.
So what does self-care look like for you?
I have a lot of anxiety, and I have had points in my life where I actually have like physical panic attacks sometimes, like out in public, So I've really had to master that kind of dealing with self-care and coming down. So my number one favorite best trick is to get one of those, like ASMR videos or whatever. I think it's like, I'm not talking about the weird. I don't mean to call it weird. I don't mean to call it weird. But, I'm not talking about something where people do satisfying things like play with Play-Doh or something. My favorite is like a rainy day in like an old castle library or something. Yeah. So I'll play that.
Mhm.
And if I'm at work, there's a massage chair in my office, and it's a counseling office, so it's made for relaxation. Turn the lights out, just do some lamplight, play that, kind of recline and just kind of close my eyes and practice some deep breathing. Pretty solid reset. Sometimes, especially at work, I really have to. Because I have stories, deal with some tough situations, and big empath over here. And they're itty bitty people.
I know. It's,
Oh,
yeah, can't imagine that.
mm-hmm.
That's why we need people like you, because people like me, as much as I would love to be able to help in situations like that, I think I'd be more of a hindrance. Honestly.
Why?
Why? Because I think I would cry. I think that'd be a big thing, is I'd be like, oh my God, that happened to you. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I've cried with families before.
Or I'd rage. And that's just, I mean, obviously you went to school, you learned how to,
I mean, that is the one thing, is like
I mean,
raging doesn't really help. So, yeah.
yeah, you're right. It doesn't help, but it feels good.
Oh, yeah. You want to. Like, I just kind of privately rage, and then I collect
I
myself.
wonder you have said sometimes like some R&R.
Yeah.
Long items in their office.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've got to get I just really have worked very hard over many years to kind of master that. Because I was 17, 18, and I started having like panic attacks, like the kind that people confuse with heart attacks. Like my heart would race and my limbs would shake, and my blood pressure, my fingers would curl, and I wouldn't be able to breathe, and I didn't know what was going on. And then so I learned that I was having panic attacks, and through a lifetime of working with medication and therapy and all that kind of stuff, like it's been a long journey here, but I definitely, I guess what I would say for anybody who has experienced that, and the advice I give is like, just don't fucking quit, you know, and you can get there. There's a sign I bought once because I knew that things were bad, and I knew things needed to change. And I saw this sign that said, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." And I have kept that all this time, because that's like my thing. Like, when I know things are bad and I know it's got to give and it's got to change, I just remember to kind of keep moving forward.
That's good. That's good advice. I mean, not just for you and I, but for everybody, it just begins with a single step.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have to take that single step every day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so what would you like the world to know about you, Miss Sunny?
Miss Sunny. Well, I guess the thing is that it is important to me to leave this world better than I found it. And that the whole first idea of the whole shouting into the void is that idea of I've spent a lifetime wanting to make the world better in some kind of way. And being an introverted extrovert, to me, it doesn't matter whether I'm, feeding somebody on the side of the road that just wants a meal, or working with a kid who has a situation bigger than they can handle, and they need that person to center them and help them and listen to them, or whatever. It's all about those small stories and that single step. And so for me, it's always been important to be a difference maker in some way. You know, it's like Martin Luther King said, if I can't do great things, then I'll do small things in a great way. And so that's, my life philosophy right there, I think, like I will make a difference, damn it. I will. Whether people even know it was me or not. Leave the world better than I found it. Yeah, beautiful art. Thank you. Well, I love this. I love the fact that we've got to know you and we've allowed the world to get to know you just a little bit better. Well, Mr. Sunny, how are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah. So we just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the famous Mrs. Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe her?
I think I will have to reference my favorite songs that she owns.
Your favorite songs that she owns?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is Classy, Sassy, and a Little Badassy.
I love it. I love it so much.
But Shauna is the embodiment of her name, Sunny. And just daring, funny, just a great person to be around.
Sure. I could attest to all of that, and I love that. So what is your sign? Your astrological sign?
I'm an Aries.
You're an Aries.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a little story that you looked up your sign and her sign.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That sounds accurate.
And now?
I haven't looked it up yet.
Okay, I like it. What is something that you want the world to know about your wife?
I guess the first thought that came to mind was that she's all mine.
I love it.
So I guess I'll go with that.
Okay.
For lack of a better.
She's all yours. She is taken. She's not on the market. If you had to pick a song for her, what would best describe her?
I think the Sunday Best with Holly.
Okay.
I will sing it for her when I hear that song. I don't even remember the artist, but just a happy, upbeat song.
I love that. Well, that's all the questions I have. I'm so thankful that you got to come out here and give us a little more insight onto Miss Sunny and all that she has to offer.
Well, thanks for having me.
Anytime.
I'll have to look up study guide next time. Better.
We'll sit it. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Little extra guest here. This is Sweetie.
Hi.
So, she is sweet. How would you describe Sunny?
There's too many words in the English dictionary to describe Sadie.
What's the first one that comes to mind?
Con. Sadie.
If you have to leave a message for her, since we're doing an interview, is there something that you want to say to her?
Keep being awesome.
I know that too. All right, well, I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you having me on the podcast, baby.
Yeah. Just getting all kinds of insight, and I love it. This is Sunny and Ratchet. Here's a shouting into the void. Woo!